All right, this is recording now. And Justin's come in to make sure that we are on task. Thank you so much. So today being October 1st, it being 7 o'clock, we would like to bring our Board of Health meeting to order. Members present are Marty Golightly, Alex Haggerty, Chris Schultz, Terry Mays, Linda Dickey, and myself, Susan Emery. In the audience, we have two people representing Tiger Shark Tattoos. I'm so sorry. If you speak, then we'll ask you to give your name so that the lady that takes the minutes for us, her name is Mary, will know to whom is speaking. Okay. Just to explain. So, first thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, look at that. Alrighty, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. Moving right along to our next order of business, which is microblading. Did everybody have a chance to read the packet on microblading? So we have already read it. I understand that we're just going to go and jump right in for a vote on this, unless does anybody have any questions for our esteemed guests about microblading and whether we're going to. So I guess we need a motion. The motion should be for or against allowing Tiger Shark to perform microblading.
I'll make the motion.
The motion to...
For it, yes.
For...
Approve, yes.
To approve microblading for Tiger Shark.
Do we need to make a motion to, like, two motions? Do we need to approve it and then to add it to our now existing tattoo regulations? So
okay,
make two motions?
If you want to do that, then we'll
So I'll second Alex's motion then.
Well, we should probably make the motion to approve it to our... before we can approve it for a business, right?
Well, we could go forward with this motion and have a discussion.
Absolutely.
Regulations and wording
in
that regulation as such.
Or Tiger Shark.
No, we don't want to make it company specific.
Yeah, for the body of work that is just general to the town.
Yes, so I would like to make an amendment to my motion on the floor to have it add body art to include microblading to our regulations on body art.
And I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for, and 0 against. Next, we would like to have another motion, and maybe somebody would like to make a motion.
Can I ask a question? Since we've added it to our regs,
Absolutely.
do we need to add the ability to each of our businesses in the town, or is it just our regs? So it's now part of our regs, they can do it.
It's part of our regs. They've already satisfied in their microblading package the educational requirements that the state, I think, requires.
Okay, so there's a second level of training?
Yes.
Okay, so
did you get the packet from last week?
I did, but I went through it. I must have missed that.
Okay.
So each business in town would have to be certified to do this.
Yes.
Okay, so you're the first one.
As it's written right now, they would also need to get the body work permit. So I was actually going to recommend an additional motion, if I could,
Sure.
to add that to the permit list. If that's something you're
As a
interested
line
in.
item.
Mm.
So
or
I
you can
will
include it in the body art establishment. It doesn't really matter to me, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of that.
Was that the second motion you were looking for? Something like that? So the motion would be to add microblading to the permits
For body art.
for body art.
For body art, and should that carry a cost, or?
It's just
I mean,
one
if
of the
you want
many
my-
skills in their sheet, checkoff sheet.
Yeah, if you
right?
want my opinion on that,
I think that they
I'd love your
get
opinion
one.
on that.
I would just, every tattoo shop already has to get a permit.
Right.
To get the body. So if they get it and they fulfill both the tattoo and the microblading requirements, educationally, all of the laundry list that they had to fill out, then the tattoo / microblading would be, in my opinion, satisfactory.
And I agree with that.
I don't know a lot about tattooing and microblading, but because this came up, I did reach out to people that I know that do.
A lot of
Yeah.
tattoo places, like even do piercing, and they usually still just pay that one
Mhm.
fee. So.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make that
So then we
part
don't really
clear.
need a motion to, I say we just add microblading to our existing body art regs. That's
That would
my
I.
opinion.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, we don't have to make it that
Sorry.
complicated,
Thanks,
but
so good.
I have to bring that up right
No.
now.
are you satisfied with that, Terry?
No, my question was, since it's on the regs and they're already certified in the town, do we need to make a separate vote to allow them to do microblading? I didn't think so. It's up to the board.
I don't think so. I think that the motion we just had satisfies me.
I'm satisfied.
I'm satisfied.
So I guess you guys are all set.
Well,
Thank you
we
so
still
much.
have to make changes to the existing regulations, submit that to council for approval,
Yes.
and
Yes.
come up with the check list to do that. But, yeah, I have to write the regs first, or add it to.
Yes.
We should look into what Plymouth did for microblading and try to mirror that, and then just add what they did to our regulations.
I
How
don't
does
think
the
there's
board feel
anything,
of that?
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at another town's regs, but
It's been
Didn't
good
he
for
already give us
Plymouth.
that? Didn't Chris give us like the regs from another town?
I think
Yeah.
this young lady was the
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
that
Boston and Plymouth.
supplied us with those papers.
Yeah, it was on Blue Jacket in Plymouth.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, just to be very clear, can they microblade tomorrow?
We still have to go through the regulatory process of making sure it's added to the regulations, and I talked to Chris about this today. If it was approved, it still has to send out, they have to write up an addendum to the existing regulations, to come up with a checklist of things that you'll need to provide, which you guys have already done, right?
Yeah.
And then to show proof, and then, just like a apprenticed tattoo artist would have, had all the stuff that they're supposed to
Like
get.
the bloodborne CPR first aid.
Exactly.
Okay, I already have all those.
Yeah, and I know you do, so it's gonna be, it'll be relatively quick, and I don't anticipate writing the actual regulation will take me that long, but I mean, we still have to kind of like.
Yeah, there's no rush.
I talked to Chris. You're the one actually gonna be doing it, so
Yeah.
we'll have a sit down.
Okay.
So does anybody else have any other questions? No, does not
I
appear
don't.
that way. So, I guess we have a little bit of work to do, but, you guys, have moved the ball forward. I think that's a fair statement. And, I thank you so much for, bringing this to us, and, I hope you enjoy your evening and have a safe journey home.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for hearing us out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
You
Good
too.
night, too.
That's it.
Alrighty. So, next up on the agenda, did anybody else have anything that they wanted to say further about microblading? I don't wanna, but I like to move things forward too. So next up is Oktoberfest. So I asked Marty if he had heard anything about Oktoberfest, and I got 3 question marks. So at the time, you had not heard anything about Oktoberfest. Did you get that flyer I sent to?
I got that, and I talked to Ken Coyle about exactly what they were gonna be doing.
Okay, so you're all set now?
Yep.
Yeah, most of it, I think, is, they have some pre-existing licensing going on, but I just didn't want there to be such a big event and have you not know.
No, the vast majority of the things will be 0 issues.
Excellent.
Great. Moving right along.
Moving right along. Okay, so next up was smoke detectors. I just brought up the smoke detectors because it's that month, October month, is one of those months that we put the clocks ahead, and the fire department recommends that you check your smoke detectors, and I was doing just that, and I took my smoke detectors down, and I realized mine were all expired. I did not know that smoke detectors have an expiration date, so I just say to people, when you're taking your smoke detectors down, to check them for expiration dates. They're only good for 10 years.
Carbon monoxide detectors also.
Carbon monoxide
You should check
detectors come
those.
in with the smoke detectors, yeah. you
Those
should
are real
have
important.
At least one in your house, especially if you're someone like me that burns wood.
Mm,
So I just wanted to
very good.
add a little,
Remind everybody.
yeah, 'cause that's public safety. Next up is the emergency preparedness. Our last meeting, we didn't have a microphone, so some of our emergency preparedness conversation went with no sound to it. So, and on that note, I think too, is probably should pass around the minutes. Did you guys all get a chance to look and read the minutes and make sure that, I know Terry, you weren't here, so we can just pass you by, and Chris, you weren't here, so we'll pass you by too, but we'll have to sign those. That's gonna be coming up pretty soon. One of the emergency preparedness items that I mentioned last time was that when we do have a time when we need to use the public schools for emergency preparedness, whatever the occasion is, for our MRC people, our volunteers, it would be great to have people that know how to use the school, I mentioned the maintenance crew, the cafeteria workers, if we could have some of those volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers to move the ball forward if we do ever have an emergency situation. And I'd just like to remind folks that, those are people that would be very helpful in a time of emergency. Another thing that I talked about in the emergency preparedness was the call-down list. And we had a call down today. I don't know, Marty, were you involved in the call down today?
I initiated it.
Oh, good. So Chris didn't get a
Yes.
call.
I'm still
About
trying
what time was that?
What time did I do that?
I got mine about 10:25.
Just
I don't
10:25
remember.
this morning.
1:43 PM.
You got it too?
No, Susan forwarded it to me and
Well,
asked me.
I
if
did,
I
yeah,
noted it was
yeah.
1:43.
I was, so, I don't think Joe Kenny got on the call down list
Anytime.
either. Oh, did he?
Mhm.
Yeah, I had just, I just wanted, maybe I can get a copy of that call down list, cause the last one I have.
I'm sure the board needs to be on it. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, I'm the PIO, so I know I'm supposed to be on it.
Okay.
The Public
I'm still trying to
Information
figure out
Officer for those.
exactly who is required to be on it.
Okay, well, you
And
don't have to
then-
put me on it, you can take me off.
And then who is a good have to be on it.
Mhm.
I always figured more is better than less.
Sure.
I may have missed some people. The Excel spreadsheet had some problems, and I didn't have keys to do that at the HHAN website until Friday.
Okay.
So I initiated the first one on Friday, got about 1,000 error messages, and had to try again today. And this is after a long rigmarole with public health to get
Sure.
that sorted out. So, yeah, you're probably gonna get another HHAN next week, because I can do this until we get it right.
You know what I think the problem
I
is?
probably will.
I think they still have my home number, and that's absurd.
Yeah, because for the call down list, that's why we don't,
I'll bet that's why it is,
What I
because I
really
don't
wanna
have
do
it.
is there's an option, speaking of that, for texting. So you
Even
can
better.
get it and have your confirmation alert via text, which I don't know, but I mean, like, I prefer that. I mean, most people have their phones with them all the time, so it's easier to do a text than an email or a phone call. So yes, and also, it's gonna happen again soon, and I wanna get it right.
so I called in 3 minutes, so.
It's usually, I don't know, this is one of those.
But yeah,
work in
if you want to take me off, you can take me off.
Well, actually, I don't wanna take anybody off, I'm just trying to figure out who has to be on it,
Okay,
and then who,
Volunteers after.
or who should be, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
our must-haves and our good-tos, Like, those things are important differentiation.
Well, I just figured where I took that public information officer training, that I might be a good person, but I don't mind being off of it, you know. I thought that Chris would be a good person because he passed the NIMS courses too, and just.
Well, I don't wanna have every single volunteer on an HHA
No.
and call down, because that's not necessary. But
Sure.
like I said, I'm working on who is good to have, who absolutely needs to be, and then, you know, shrinking that list or expanding it as the situation fits.
Sure. All right.
Sounds good to me.
So, well, I'm glad that we talked about it last week, and I'm glad that we put it on this time, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to talk about it. So how lucky for me. All right, so the next thing, does anybody have anything else on the emergency preparedness or the call down list, or anything to do with that? Wonderful. So, the next thing on the list is, when I got the copy of the schedule, I saw that we have a meeting scheduled for December 17th. And we generally don't meet after the first meeting in December. We've canceled that Christmas meeting every year I've been on. I just figured that before it gets too close to the time, and that maybe we'd want to consider canceling this December 17th meeting sooner than later. I know I don't want to be in here a few days before Christmas. And I just was curious as to what your thoughts were. Does anybody else see a problem with canceling this
I
meeting?
do not see a problem.
We have canceled that meeting every year I've been on this board. Terry, do you have anything to add, or?
I have no preference.
Okay, Chris?
I'm fine with that.
All right, Alex?
I have no preference either.
All right, then, I'd like to maybe have a motion to
You don't need a
cancel.
motion.
I don't need a motion, so we're just gonna, Mary, can we just cancel that December 17th meeting? So that the residents don't expect it, and if somebody needed it, we have had emergency meetings before, if there was some sort of an emergency. So, has everybody that needs to, I guess Alex and Linda,
Looked at
have
the
you
minutes.
looked at the minutes? I looked at them on the computer, I didn't
Can I
look
just
at
get
them here.
just one more
Oh,
look at
yeah.
it, just to make sure?
The only thing that actually is missing off the minutes is after we've made, I believe we made 2 motions. We didn't write, or we didn't do the number count. There's no number count on those minutes.
Oh,
Of 300, it should have been.
okay, so we can ask
I
Mary to
think
add
that
that.
Mary has to add that.
Yeah, I
Terry
think-
had pointed that out to me, which
Yeah.
I did think of that when we had the meeting, but then I was like, it
I-
doesn't matter, she knows there's only 3 of us here. Mary knows that to count. Like,
I
I didn't
know.
think of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So-
don't know when someone reads the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they
Okay.
read it like a
Yeah.
year from now or something like that. No, you're absolutely right. No, I agree
So
with you.
with,
I've had other people tell me that I forget to do the negative
Yeah.
count too, which
so
would help with
I
that.
would make a motion to accept the minutes, amending after they're amended with the number count
The number
on
count of
the
was-
2 motions that
Yes.
we made.
Was it the 300
Yes.
because we had 2 members?
Yes.
All right, so,
I'll second your motion and amendment.
excellent. All right, so we have a 3 in favor, 0 because 2 members were not present. And Mary, if you could fix that for us and put the 300 for that last count here, then that would be greatly appreciated. So, but I can't sign these without that, or can I write that in?
Because that would be the page that you'd be signing without counting.
'cause-
If it was the
all right.
first page, you could.
If it was the first page, I could write it in, but it's not, it's the second page. So Mary, I can't sign these, maybe we could have these come to our next meeting, and that would be greatly appreciated. So I'm just gonna put these back into the folder over here. And I promise you, and if you need me to sign them earlier, I'm just a phone call away. So, that being said,
Motion to adjourn?
Terry would like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have somebody seconding the motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Linda seconds the motion to adjourn. Are there anybody opposing the motion to adjourn?
We have a motion and a second, we vote.
A motion and a second, all right, so that would be
All in favor?
5, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All of those opposed, say no. All right, there we go. So that's 5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Thank you so very much. We're shutting the stuff off.
Off.
All right, yeah. So why don't we just put these